I will continue to feel that I'm not worthy, and then I will be a bad person, low self-esteem. Every problem will come around also. So yeah, I think
Correct. And not
that's what I
just
learned from
you.
here.
Okay.
I think Carmen bullied me already.
Looking
What's the
at all
intention?
four of us, which one is a bully? Very obvious it's not me, lor.
It's repeated and targeted.
And
But
if
it's just intention is all good only.
So it does not consider.
Also got power imbalance because three of you are expert in the special needs educator. So power imbalance, targeted, repeated. It's just the intention that actually make me feel good.
This podcast shares personal stories and professional insights, but it's not a substitute for medical advice or therapy. If you're looking for support, do speak to someone qualified and trained in child development or special needs care. You'll find the full disclaimer on the screen and in the show note.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Adapting Together podcast. We are a podcast to support, empower, and inspire parents and caregivers of children with neurodivergent needs. My name is Cindy, one of the co-hosts today, and together with me, we have Kevin too. Before I introduce our guest today, allow me to just share a short little story. So many years ago, a classmate of mine has made a comment about how bad my exam result was. And the statement that she said, I still remember vividly, was that if I were you, I will rather end my life. So maybe it looks like a very casual remark to her, but at that moment, I really feel embarrassed. And even until today, maybe like after 20 years later, I can still remember that, right? Many of us maybe can remember a moment like that from our childhood when somebody said or do something hurtful or excluded us or made us feel small. And these moments can really stay with us for a very long time. And now as an adult, and especially now me as an educator, sometimes the thoughts of our children or my clients might experience teasing or exclusion or even bullying can also be really worrying. And today we want to talk about what bullying really looks like, right? Some of the important topic would be like how parents can recognize the signs early and how can we continue to support and protect our children. And let us welcome Raynette into the show. Welcome, Raynette.
Welcome.
Raynette is a registered play therapist and counselor. And through her work with children and families, I think she has supported many clients in navigating emotional and social challenges. And Ray has also helped us recorded one episode previously about play therapists. If you have missed her earlier episode, you can always go back and listen to that episode. Because of the nature of her work, I think she has also encountered and support children who have experienced bullying. And this makes her a perfect person to help us explore the topic today. Right, to start us off, Ray, a question that I think many audience would like to know, how do we define bullying?
Maybe before we move on to answer that question, let us have a quick pop quiz for the co-host.
Sure.
Okay. Okay. I can see Kevin a bit nervous.
got reward or prize or not?
Got reward or prize or not? Okay. We can have an air hive 10.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. There's no right and wrong for this quiz. So-called quiz is like we can treat it as a game. It's a one-word reaction game. Whatever word, or if you don't have a words, you can show me with an expression when you hear the situation I was telling you. Okay, so what happened is I'm gonna say a situation. You only need to respond with a one-word reaction or expression. Okay, so ready?
Yeah, ready.
The first situation is someone laugh when another student answer wrongly in class, like haha, you wrong.
Mean.
You say mean.
What's
Okay.
it?
For me, it's embarrassing.
Embarrassing, interesting. Different people have different response. Yeah. I'm curious what makes you say it's mean.
not being kind, like maybe she answered wrongly because she don't know, but then you laugh at her. So I think it's not kind. Lah.
I say embarrassing because this kind of reaction will make the person who answered wrongly feel embarrassed.
So your cards come from different perspective. One of you is like the person who need to face this. One of you is like, oh, is the action of the person looks very mean.
Yeah.
So obviously this is something like social situations. We don't know whether it's actually post harm or whether it's actually repeated. We don't have those information yet, but we just know it's a social situation. Yeah. And we can come from different perspectives. How about second one? Someone asks you to crawl on floor like a dog to play with them.
Someone asked me to crawl on the floor. It depends on the
Play with them.
If play, I also thinking.
One word only.
Oh, okay.
I see
It's
you.
a sound.
I see your face done already. Like, like that. I saw Kevin's frowning. Yeah.
I think it depends on the who. If it's like a kid or who, like what's the intention of them asking me to do that action? If it's just for play, I think it's okay. But if the intention is to embarrass me, then I think it's
Then
mean.
your one word is?
The second one, mean.
Yeah. Mean. Okay. Kevin, your one word?
I say sick. Yeah.
Okay. How about someone, a friend, argue with you about which game to play?
Okay.
When you play
Control.
this, then the friend just say, oh no, I don't want to play this.
Control. Controlling.
Busybody.
So to start us off, like how do we define bullying? There's 3 criteria that we need to fulfill. First is there need to be an intention to harm. Yeah. Means someone have the intention of hurting physically or hurting emotionally, embarrassing, intimidating, excluding any sort of emotional harm or physically hurt the person. So the first one is intention to harm. Second criteria is it need to be targeted and repeated. Yeah.
Okay.
Targeted at someone, not to everybody, targeted at someone and repeated. And the third one is the most obvious, which is power imbalance. So it has a power difference of social status, popularity, your height, your physical strength, your knowledge, your age, Yeah. So there's a power imbalance, like you are more popular than me. You are better in terms of what? You are richer than me. Yeah. Or you are more knowledgeable than me. Yeah. Which somehow make our neurodivergent children or those who are on the spectrum susceptible to it because they naturally have some sort of power imbalance due to their capacity to socialize or capacity to regulate their impulse and capacity to express themselves. Yeah. And so on and so forth. Yeah. So that's the 3 criteria to start us off to help us to define what is bullying, differentiating it from so-called like normal social situation or normal conflict and disagreement.
How do we tell the intention then? Because if I summarize the 3 criteria, right? Intention, and it has to targeted and repeatedly over time, and there's a power imbalance that exists. I just kind of think of myself and my son. Because definitely there's a power imbalance. I'm the adult. I'm his father. I
There's a
might
power hierarchy, yeah.
repeatedly like kacau him, harass him, tickle him. So it's just only the intention that makes me not bullying him, right?
Yeah, so then
Because I
it
don't
doesn't
have an
fulfill.
intention to be mean.
And it doesn't fulfill. Yeah, so if any one of it doesn't it doesn't fulfill. It always come with these 3 criteria to help us to differentiate.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm still not a bad
And
father. Okay.
Kevin always reflect about your parental relationship with your child. Yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah, and of course, sometimes I actually have something like a friendship zone that I come up with, which I could share screen with the audience today to have a look on how do we differentiate so-called like healthy friendship, normal conflict, and to some form of unkind behavior and then bullying. Yeah, and that's something that I tried to showcase through our quiz quickly earlier. Yeah, as a demonstration to help parents to, you can play this like just a perspective taking game rather like a so-called like bullying prevention game. Just use it like a normal things to fish out words from your child, practice expression or in words or practice expression by showing you response. And sometimes it can go through colors as well. Yeah, but just want to have a show on like show you the friendship zone that usually I help parents to differentiate. Yeah, what is so-called like bullying and also what the words that usually sometimes children use it a bit loosely. Not just children, sometimes parents, we ourselves will be concerned and because we want to pick up warning signs quickly. So obviously the healthy friendship is something that we feel very safe, fun, and then we can problem solve and we can compromise with each other. That's nice. And then we have the normal conflict, which is sometimes we have disagreement. You want to play this, I want to play another game. We asserting our boundary, we learning boundary. So those are things that we want to teach children to be flexible, especially our children on the spectrum. Teach them to be flexible, teach them to problem solve, teach them to compromise, respect people boundary. Yeah. But if let's say sometimes it should up to something like so-called like it's an okay behavior, it's happened, but it's actually quite unkind. Yeah, such as we tease, but we do teasing with close friends sometimes. We also do like what Kevin said, tickle, have fun with them, with our close friends. But with people we are not so close enough, usually we don't do that kind of like action of those proximity. Yeah, and also tease them to have a reaction rather than tease them for fun to build connection. So that's the intention matters. You tickle your boy to have a connection. You don't tickle your boy with the intention of being unkind and harming him. Yeah. So if you tease to exclude them, make them look funny, have a reaction and humiliate them in front of the people, yes, that's a bit borderline that we need to look into helping children to express themselves and then assert themselves, express themselves, teach empathy, and also acknowledge and express their feelings. Yeah, so teasing is a bit borderline because it might escalate up to bullying. Yeah, and of course, bullying is with that three intention. Yeah, there will be a victim and there will be someone who power over the other victim. So there will be a power imbalance. And interestingly, another criteria that help us to differentiate the first three with bullying is also the first three, especially when we have the yellow and also the orange zone, they are things that both parties will feel distress. Like when you have unkind behavior, sometimes you yourself felt like, oh, why like that? The person just don't follow me. Yeah, you still have some intention of friendship connection there. Why this person I keep controlling, just they don't follow me. But bullying is different in the way the person feel good seeing the other victim being humiliated, seeing the victim being harmed already. The person who power over, bully will feel very good. And then the person who be depleted of the power, the one being bullied, will feel like cannot stand up and feel distressed. So only one party will feel distressed. But for the normal conflict, unkind behavior, usually two parties will somehow still feel distressed, that they might get into trouble, they might get into, the friendship cannot be maintained. But when escalate until bullying, that's something that we really need to take action and intervene.
Just now, Raynette, you said that one party has to be in distress, right? And then another one, of course, they want to be in control, right? That is the person who bully. So I've encountered one situation long time ago when I was in a school. How if I have to step in as an adult, and that reason is because the class students versus my client, but my client wasn't feeling distressed. He's not even aware of in that situation that somebody is laughing at him or somebody make fun of him. But that also can be because from us as a third party, as an outside people and someone like an adult, we feel that it's not okay. But that is also considered as a bully case. Did you agree?
I'm
Even though
unsure of the nature of the case, whether it fulfilled the 3 criteria of definitely intention to make it humiliating, or have a reaction. Is it that intent? If it's not that intent, just on controlling their navigating boundary in friendship, then it's different. So whether the intention to harm, and then whether it's coachable, and then second one is it repetitive and targeted at your child
yeah.
client, or actually the child is doing it to many other children, just the child is navigating boundary and control, has his own personal issue as well, or personal needs to work through. And then the third one, whether there's a power imbalance with your child. So only again it fulfill this criteria when we ask those questions together with your child feeling distressed, then it happens. And you said that your child might not feel distressed at that moment. Doesn't mean your child doesn't feel distressed when he go home or at a later time. Because we know that neurodivergent children, most of the time, they takes time to process their feelings, or takes time to pair with a words, or takes time to process with their expression. And it might come out in some form of behavior. The distress might come out in some form of behavior at a later time. So we never know, but of course, that's something that we can, as we go down the podcast, we can talk a bit more about what's the warning sign to look out for. But there might be a delayed reaction. We never know.
Great. Yeah, that says something that I never thought of. Might come in later, like their response. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. But definitely is, if we ourselves feel distressed, we want to ask ourselves again whether is it just disagreement, like normal conflict, or actually it's already quite unkind. It might actually shoot up to bullying if we don't intervene. Then we will intervene. Yeah. I feel most of the time as therapists, our instinct are not just instinct. Yeah. It has certain clinical rationale that prompt us to say something or
Yeah.
intervene. So if you felt there's something like an unkind behavior that deserves to coach or coach them to repair apology, then it needs to, or else it might escalate to bullying.
Okay. Thanks for the explanation. Then my next question that I think of is, what are those different types of bullying that the parents should be aware of?
So I'm sure this one, most parents will be able to Google online, like physical bullying, such as, shoving them around, pushing, kicking, hurting until have a bruise, or whether without a bruise, repetitive doing that. Yeah, so anything physical. Or physical bullying can also comes in throwing their things, hiding their lunchbox, hiding their bottle. So physical. And then, or borrowing money. Then verbal bullying. Yeah. So these are the two common one where it will hurt people emotionally, using the most nasty words to say something, or like the example, one of the example social situation I gave earlier, asking someone to play with them by pretending to be a dog. Yeah, in school. And then or using the words that will intentionally trigger someone to have a reaction in class. So it's also verbal bullying. Then I think for especially common, and statistics show us more commonly among girls, they will be intelligent enough while navigating their social boundaries to play social exclusion cards. So, and that can be combined with some form of cyberbullying, like you call everyone for a get together, call everyone to sit together in a lunch timetable, but purposely exclude someone. or you play together, purposely exclude someone, or you give everyone present but not give somebody, or you help everybody, just don't help this person. So exclusion. And then maybe cyberbullying. When I say social exclusion combined with cyberbullying, I think one of the most typical one that even I personally experienced, as I felt it's just meanness. It didn't escalate, but it was also quite bad. Like you tag everyone for photo, but don't tag somebody. Yeah,
As in purposely don't tag the person, or it could be that
purposely
we
don't
cannot
tag
tag
lah.
the person because it's not taggable.
So the
So
intention
it's
again matters.
intentional. Yeah, intention.
The intention, you purposely don't tag someone, not because this person don't have the Insta or Facebook account, but because you just don't tag this person. On online, you purposely take someone photo and edit into something. Again, as long as with the three intention to harm, then there will be 101 types of bullying which are continuously evolving and come out with new terms in the field. But these are the four common ones: physical, verbal, social exclusion, cyberbullying.
I was thinking as you're explaining, right? Because it's always intention is more important, because if the intention is not there, then the other two criteria may not really hold water. So that means the intention is something that actually reflect the person who engage in the act of bullying. So does it mean that something is not healthy inside them that actually motivates that behavior?
Yes, somehow. We always say, instead of using the word bully, sometimes I like to help parents to rephrase the words bully, whether they come into like early prevention or when their child already bullied. We want to rephrase it to the words power. Yeah. So like the person who try to bully, we usually say their power over. They use their power greatly on someone. And then the person who usually like being bullied or comply to the bully, then we'll say they have no power or lack of power. And of course, the one who can assertively say no and not participate in bullying, we'll call them we'll say that they have good inner power. So you can imagine the person who overpower or underpower, also they are not so healthy, meaning they don't have the inner power. So in counseling room or in play therapy room, we don't just counsel victim, we also counsel victim bully or bully victim. Yeah. And definitely also counsel the bullies. But most of the time it was you're on point, Kevin. Is like they are lack of the inner power. That's why they will either become bully, victim bully, or the victim. Yeah. But we can come to terms of it later. But yes, these are the types of bully that we somehow know, and yes, it somehow show that they are lack of the inner power.
Okay.
So those are the different types of bullying. And yes, like what Kevin suggested, is a signs of them having unhealthy relationship with themselves. And usually we rephrase it as power, just like we said, power imbalance. And then now you are lack of inner power, then you will need to assert control power over others. Yeah. But that's an inflated kind of control that might somehow leads to repercussion of your own reputation without them knowing.
And when we say there's an imbalance, right, is it correct to say that neurodivergent children are more vulnerable to bullying? What's your perspective on this?
Yes, definitely. Like what I mentioned on brief when we started, they're naturally susceptible to bullying due to some form of imbalance stem from their imbalance in regulating themselves, expression capacity, and verbal comprehension of the situations, so on and so forth. That they naturally
Maybe
makes
their
them a bit more susceptible.
skill
Yes,
in doing
skills.
certain things also maybe a little bit different.
Correct. Skills and knowledge.
Right. So, Ray, I'm sure some of the audience will be also want to know about what are some early warning signs that a child might be experiencing when they are being bullied.
So the key phrase here, I would say, is sudden changes. Yeah. So sudden changes in terms of emotion, behavior, or expression.
Lifestyle?
Yeah.
How about lifestyle, like they're sleeping, eating, or
I
not?
will consider that physical changes as well.
Okay.
So example like sudden, the most obvious one, it might straight away escalate to sudden school avoidance. Yeah, a lot of avoidance and withdrawal behavior. Like nobody, in terms of expression, nobody wants to play with me. Behavior, I rather play alone. Expression or low self-esteem, I'm stupid. Nobody likes me. When the child usually don't talk like that, and suddenly start to talk like that. Yeah. Or everything's my fault. And then definitely like what Carmen say, drop in their executive functioning, how they regulate, plan certain things, remember certain things, performing. Yeah. And then cannot sleep so well, cannot eat so well. Yeah. And then other physical signs on top of the sudden change in their emotions, expressions, behavior could be they suddenly have a lot of missing belongings. So those are signs of physical bullying or unexplained bruises, dirty clothes.
Yeah,
Suddenly
correct.
always ask parents for money, ask parents to buy new things for them. So those are easy signs of physical bullying. And then, but it might also be easily overlooked because we thought our children so forgetful, right? And then they will lose their items time to time.
They have
But we always
glasses.
wanna pay attention to their expression. You will feel the change. If you know your child well, you would somehow feel the sudden change, even though it's asking more for items like buying new stationery, but their expression and their distress level will be different. For our fellow people on the spectrum, it will be very quickly escalate to school refusal without a reason that we could comprehend, but it will show up in their behavior very quickly actually.
I think these signs are very important for us to spot and prevent it from becoming worse. Just now when you were saying like missing things, right? If let's say certain child, the parents notice they suddenly have a lot more new things, then maybe they could be the bully person. Could take other people things. That's what I was thinking. I think in this case, it sounds like actually there are two party that actually needs help. The party that's getting bullied and also the party that's bullying another person, because like what you say is the internal power imbalances. So it's not healthy if it's left continue like that. Which means, right, let's say I'm parents, but I want to be observant that there's a signal or signs that let's say my son's getting bullied. And at the same time, we might also want to observe whether there's a signal or signs that my children are going through the internal power imbalances issue. Because if we don't correct it or help them early when they are young, eventually it will become a bigger problem later. So there's like two party and but sometimes I think certain parents they may actually be in the denial when they realize that there's a chance that their children are the one who engage the activity or action of bullying another person. So in that case, what would you say to these parents or caregivers?
I felt often it's actually very valid that parents are worried about their children will be or worried and might go into worried until the denial stage. Yeah, because that's just human regulation coping mechanism. That's why talking to a therapist is helpful or talking to someone trustable will help them to gain back their assurance for themselves. Like rather be in denial. Actually, is your child showing these signs?
Sorry.
Potentially, if your child show up to be a bully, then definitely the child learn it somewhere. Yeah. Or your child might have some form of like lack of inner power, what we say, because basically not enough self-esteem. Then we would need to know, or if we treat this self-esteem, then know where that stems from, then we could tackle the controlling behavior. So therapists like us, we were able to help parents to, assure parents by reframing it as control, instead of using the words bully, we use the words control or use the words like power over. And then how do you navigate this power control? How do you help your child to have appropriate power, inner power usage? Yeah. So we want to reframe it to assure parents first. Yeah. And so, but even if today, if parents are watching without having any therapist to consult with, then always assure yourself by, as in calm down your own reaction first before rethinking what's going on through for your child. Yeah. And then, and also whether your child go through bully because before your child come to show some bullying behavior or power over behavior. So talk to someone trustable to calm your own reaction down before think of what to help your children. And of course, you can go back and check through our checklist. Our checklist to help you to calm down that we shared at the beginning of the podcast. The 4 friendship zones to see whether your child is still at healthy friendship zone, normal conflict zone, or unkind behavior or bullying zone already. So always research some resources to help yourself to calm down. And of course, talk to someone trustable to calm down first before you further of how to help your child.
Thank you. That's very helpful.
Yeah, just now that you're saying, I am also thinking of the people that I work with. So I think Ray said a lot also on like communication. You have to talk to your child to understand, and then also it's just a lot of talking and understanding our child. So what about some children who may have communication challenges? In your experience, how might bullying show up differently?
So all those early warning signs are still applicable to them. In fact, behavior are communication tools. So it will show up more obviously in them. If let's say every day your child is behaving in certain ways, suddenly change of behavior, even though they are not talking, and the intensity that they will communicate via their non-verbal cues will be even stronger. So whatever I mentioned as the signs earlier about emotional outbursts, change of emotion intensity, change of behavior, or even they play out, sometimes they play through nonverbal, they are still communicating. They draw something unusual, they play something unusual, they're still communicating through their behavior. Or they point something to ask something from you more often. And then you also know these are not common signs, so it still show up. And similarly, like our game earlier, when we start off with the quiz, right? The one-word quiz to help you to connect with your child. So it will still be applicable for you to do a soft check-in with your child through like, if you do this situation, if you have this situation where friends ask you to crawl on the floor, is it green, yellow, orange, or red? Get them to point. So it's still applicable. They cannot express with words, doesn't mean they cannot communicate. And for those who could not, then we observe from their play activity. So play is the best form of communication, even for our non-verbal.
So when you were sharing the observation, then it reminded me of the time that I went to you about my son. Then I think I was suspecting that maybe I think too much, but now that you say it, then I wasn't thinking too much. It's just logical for me to pick up all this and have a concern. But luckily, he's not getting bullied.
He is bullying you and your wife.
No, just now I share
You
with
need a
Ray.
checklist.
No, just now I share with Ray. Maybe I was bullying my son Kobe because I always kacau him. So it's a repeated behavior and targeted at him. But luckily, the intention is not to humiliate him.
The intention is not to harm, in fact, intention to connect. So it's
Yeah.
different. It's different.
Yeah, so intention is very important.
Yes. So those are some of the warning signs. It's still applicable for our non-verbal client. And then it's also, and we can also use our soft check-in method by doing like a game, a quiz, and without probing back too much. about
Yeah,
bullying.
without asking them what happened in school, what happened, is this person bullying you, that is,
Yeah, most often than not, I felt that parents could fall into the assuming when
yeah,
they are
correct,
still checking and investigating.
correct.
And then
Maybe
the child will capture the
yeah.
words bullying so quickly.
Yes, correct. So at first, actually, maybe the friend is just playing on a little bit more cheeky, in a more cheeky way. Then a lot of time, I feel like nowadays parents sometimes overuse this word, and they say, "Oh, is the friend bullying you or not?" So they find this word is interesting, and then they started to use it and overgeneralize to other friends also. Who and who bully me and who bully me. Yeah. So I think that's also one of the reasons I feel this episode is so important, because it seems like nowadays parents are overly use the word bully also. But
Mm.
definitely you help us to bring us back what is the right definition, what are the sign again, and all this thing.
Okay, so I think Carmen bring us to a very good point to help us to look at like what is our parents' role, in building resiliency or building confidence or whatsoever skills in our child. Yeah, instead of doing something unhelpful, which reinforce them being susceptible to bullying, or reinforce them doing some avoidance action like avoid fluing goes to school, so on and so forth. So actually, I somehow, when you approach me to talk about this topic, I summarize. Okay, let me recall. I summarize about 5 don'ts and 5 do's. Yeah, for us to take note when we need to tackle bullying. So let's say, so the first one actually Carmen already mentioned, which is don't want to, if let's say someone say, oh, I want to play with someone else when your child approach him or her. Then when the child go back and tell parents, then parents don't straight away say, they are bullying you lah. Yeah. Then of course that will, instead of helping, even though you say in a funny way and you thought like, oh, it's just playing with your child, they might capture the words and use it back. Yeah. It will help them to somehow reinforce the rigid thinking in friendship. If people do like that, means it is a type of bully. Yeah. Rather than how we started during the podcast, we do it like a quiz and we just gain everybody perspective. You can look at this person perspective, you can look at this person perspective. We are doing perspective taking. And they're all okay. We can find out more like what situation that makes this situation turns out to be more, or this situation turns out to be more uncomfortable for you when you need to tell parents for help. But we might not want to use the word bully so loosely because it's being used quite
Because
loosely
sometimes
now.
parents use it, then the child use it in school the other day, another day,
Correct. We
right? So at the
reinforce
end,
the
the friend is
rigidity.
like, we didn't even bully you, and why you say us bullying you, So it's like,
Yeah.
it just continue and no ends.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
a replacement response would be better. Like, so it looks like sometimes, friends want to play something different. Yeah. And you can come back and tell me, or you can, that day you choose to play with someone, or that day you choose to sit. So we want to encourage flexibility rather than rigidity, even though we are coaching them on this bullying. So that's the first do's and don'ts. Don't just straight away jump into, like that means it's bullying. Pair that behavior with bully. Yeah. Then they learn the word bully very rigidly. Yeah. Instead, explore perspective taking or some form of friendship skills. Yeah. Then the second don't is like parent immediately go into rescue. Like, let's say your child come and say, today someone laughed at me. You haven't even asked what's the reason of laughing. Then you were saying, oh, let me text the teacher.
Yeah.
Or or some parents who, because we are so worried that our child get bullied, we will ask teacher, can you look into this and get someone to apologize to my child? But you haven't even dissect what's the situation yet. Yeah. So your immediate response like that, is already helping your child to learn that, oh, my mom or parents will rescue me. So I no need to learn what is perspective taking. I no need to learn my coping skills. So in fact, the do's should be, we want to find out from the child what actually happened. Not to directly go to teacher and ask teacher what actually happened, but we ask the child first. Even though your child struggle in saying, you try to ask, and also if the child cannot express immediately, say we can also always assure the child, oh, we come back to talk about it later. Instead of straight away jump into like, okay, let's ask the teacher, because your child is observing you. Then the third don't is also we don't reinforce avoidance. Like the child say, someone like that is very mean. They don't let me sit next to him or her. So again, of course, we need to find out what's happening. But the don't here is, okay, let's not go to school tomorrow. Yeah. I actually have a lot of cases like that. Then it actually reinforces, we doesn't have bullying, but it reinforces the avoidance of school.
Yeah,
From
then the kids
non-bullying,
can make their own story. Yes,
Exactly,
and then another day no need to go to school.
Correct. Then of course on this, the do's is we need to maintain the routine. No matter your child being bullied or non-bullied, or being the bully or not being the bully, or just having good inner power, we always focus on validating the child feelings and also maintaining the routine no matter what position the child is. But of course, we can assure the child that you can have your perspective, you can have your we can hear you out. Just like how we showcase during the initial of the podcast. We just get the perspective and get the child to express without a conclusion. Is also fine. And then the next don't is also don't over-interpret teasing. Like, especially with our children on the spectrum or those who are not very good with social cues, they will say, my friend always laugh at me like this. Yeah. Then parents might already say like, I think your friend shouldn't joke like that. Yeah. So that will help them to, and that's bullying. So sometimes parents will go into like that without learning that, actually sometimes close friends also we tease. Yeah. And then we tease or we like Kevin said, tickle, do different things to make each other laugh for connections. Yeah. So if we over-interpret teasing without having the right perspective and straight away jump up meanness, teasing, everything to escalate to bullying, then we fail to recognize that there's a good social skills that our child need to navigate. Yeah. So the do's definitely is find out, oh, the friend do like that. Do you feel funny or do you feel hurtful? Probably the child might say two. It feel funny at the beginning, but later on it become hurtful. It's usually like that. That's why your child come back to complain to you. Yeah. But it started off most for it will be funny. So we want to help them to be more flexible and also learn concept in the right way. Yeah. And last but not least, we don't want to reinforce that our child have the reinforce the negative self-concept that they are very fragile and vulnerable. So I have cases where parents will actually tell their child, oh, you are neurodivergent, you're not so good in this, you're autistic. They expose the children quite early. So, and every time when something happens in terms of social, they will also tell the child like, I think people are doing like that because they bully you because you're autistic. Yeah. Or they're doing like that because you are not good in this. So what are we reinforcing in the child? We are actually indirectly reinforcing the negative belief that I'm a victim. Yeah. Or if the child, those who very, somehow a bit smart, they will know parents' pattern, then they will also use it to bully their parents back.
I am like that. I am autistic.
Yeah, I have autistics. I'm like this, so you need to give in to me. Tomorrow I don't want to go to school. Yeah. So of course the do's, we wanna, tell them that, oh, everyone is different. Then people can misunderstand. You can respond in this way. Yeah. Rather than, oh, these people do like that because you're autistic. So we are not teaching the child any point. In fact, we are reinforcing the negative self-concept. So those are some of the don'ts. We don't want to do that. Yeah. And
Okay,
instead
so
do the other way to teach them skills.
okay. So that's a very helpful list of 5 don't and 5 do. So the 5 don't, the main first one is do not straight away assume that those actions are considered a bullying action. And then also don't immediately go into rescue mode. Don't become the savior to the child so too soon without understanding the situation first. And also do not reinforce the avoidance behavior because otherwise they cannot also overcome or grow. So do maintain routine. And number 4 is do not overinterpret certain action like teasing or smiling because if you are close enough, we can actually joke around and have fun sometimes, right? And then lastly is you do not want to reinforce a negative self-concept to the child. Do not want them to this may nurture victim mindset in them as well, which does not help them to overcome and increase the internal power control that they have. Yeah. So thank you
Yeah.
so much for sharing these 5. Any other questions from the other co-hosts?
Kevin summarized so well. I'm so impressed.
I
and
write
I felt
down.
very boosted. I
She
felt
going
very
he going to learn how to be a play therapist soon also. Taking a course.
I write down. I scared I become a bullier to myself.
Kevin, you write down your typing is very loud, just now.
Yeah, is it loud? Right?
I'm thinking who is typing? Is it singing?
And you know, then
Yeah, but very good. We hear it. I mean now it's very clear. Okay.
Yeah, I felt so validated with him summarizing. It's so clear. You're
I don't
paying
know what to
attention.
ask, so I have to
You're
find
paying
things to do
attention.
to make myself at least don't just sit here. And so I find things to do.
He has a bit of ADHD.
But
Also,
he's practicing good strategies. That's more important than that's more important than exactly like what we are
Yeah.
talking about. Don't do the labeling, but do the skills installation so that we strengthen their inner power. And that will be our protective factors to help us to prevent our child going into bullying. And if we always focus on installation of skills, our child will trust us in helping them to problem solve if they face bully. And they will also trust us to guide them if they become a bully unconsciously. They will also trust us to, just hold their feelings. Yeah. And connect with us to report bully straight away if let's say they fall into that situation. And that will be our protective factors because no one other than your child can let you know that true behavior or true verbal expression that he or she is being bullied. So installation of skills help us to strengthen our relationship. That's the
I think
protective
sometimes
factors.
teasing can have a positive benefit also because if someone tease me for not good at speaking or poor in grammar, that may actually give me stress in a good way, stress to become better. So in that way, it actually helped me to be a better person. But if that's why the intention is the main one, I think. If the intention is to make me feel bad about myself and to question my self-worth, and then when there is no positive corrective action or counseling or guidance, then I will continue to feel that I'm not worthy and then I will be a bad person, low self-esteem. Every problem will come around also. So yeah, I think that's what I
That's
learned from
true.
here. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, and you summarize the process so well from eustress all the way until what are possible things, even more than other than bullying.
Okay, this one not
Kevin, you
because
are
of note
right.
taking already.
Kevin, you are right. Kevin is somehow learning to be a child therapist or just, a
I think
therapist.
I
He's
think so.
learning it very
He's
well.
going to he think you are earning quite a lot, so I think that's why. Taking your rice bowl.
Okay.
I think Carmen bully me already.
Looking
the
at all
intention?
4 of us, which one is a bully? Very obvious it's not me, lor.
It's repeated and targeted.
And
But
if
it's just intention is all good only.
So it does not consider.
Also got power imbalance because three of you are expert in the special needs educator. So power imbalance targeted repeated is just an intention that actually make me feel good.
I think I just miss like 10, 20 minutes only. You all learn so much already. Ayo, I need to faster
Yeah.
catch up a bit. Ray, you did a
Because
very
of
good
good.
job.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So yeah, hopefully through
So
these
Kevin
moments it will help parents to pick up the three key phrases to differentiate bullying and normal conflict. Yeah.
Actually, I think the 5 don'ts and all the previous signs and whatnot, right, is already making this episode very valuable and helpful and insightful already. So picking up back from the 5 don'ts and do, just now we stopped
Yes.
there, right, before we deviate away. So
Very
yeah,
organized, Kevin. Impressed.
thank you. I buy you coffee. Okay, so just now we heard about the 5 don't and the 5 do, which is very helpful reminder and also a checklist for us as a parents and caregiver. I think even for adult as well, because sometimes in workplace we may also unknowingly or knowingly engage into bullying behavior without us knowing that, right? So that would be very important. So that comes to my curiosity is that it's important to prepare our children to be able to detect that maybe they are in that situation. And just now you share with us the list, like the healthy relationship, unkind
Friendship zone.
behavior, okay, and to all the way the red one is the bullying. So that actually help a person to like how to say simulate a possible scenario. And it sounds like doing role play may help. But then does it mean that as a parents we have to be very imaginative to think like what are the ways that my child could be bullied, and then how do I actually imagine all these scenarios to do role play with him?
So uh as you can as you if you recall just now the friendship zone we have 4 different colors, green, yellow, orange, red, getting more severe. Yeah. So we wanna yes, we can come up with situation, but not just the red bullying situation or the orange unkind behavior kind of teasing, so on and so forth. We always want to start with like something in general, just green and yellow, or sometimes don't putting the friendship zone aside, just play like a one word reaction game with your child. Yeah, to ask them about their perspective. Yeah. So, but in terms of if you ask me about role playing to be specific, we wanna do something like reinforce our child to be assertive, saying no. So our children on the spectrum, they are very good with copying, most of them. Yeah. And not that's one of their special talent and how they navigate learning when they are so confused with their social map or social skills. Yeah. So we want to do some role play with them to somehow reinforce them to be assertive naturally, to say no or stop. Yeah. So that should be a key phrase. And this will actually somehow help them to, let's say they are really bullied, then they can do that stop and no very assertively, whether by action or whether by expression, yeah, or by their behavior. So we wanna, so for children who are verbal, then yes, we can do those kind of social situation and mix with not just the orange and red one, but also the green and yellow one. Ask them different scenarios of friendship and get them to respond whether this is mean, teasing, or bullying, or this is green, yellow, orange, or red. Yeah, so I want to get them to just respond to build connection and understanding of them. But for those who are not very verbal, we also want to help them to make certain sound to show their assertiveness, like no, stop, and action. So we can even repeatedly, like, let's say role play like 2 horse bump into each other, or 1 dragon fight with a horse. Yeah. Or 1 dragon bully the horse, power over, like keep doing something. And then this one was, what would this one say? And then let your child have that thing, the horse, to somehow just, stomp on the floor or say stop, say no. Yeah, get them to practice that until that imprint in their nervous system. So in case they are being bullied, then they can respond. Yeah, we want to build that into their natural response system. So that's the only thing I'll emphasize if you want to come up with situations for them to role play. It can be any situation, but just reinforce them to say the no, stop.
Sometimes when Raynette shared the example, it also reminds me of how we teach our kid to advocate for themselves, right? Like
Correct.
if somebody take your things, then you can say, give me back. Then multiple times in a day, we might want to practice that skill. Like we take their things without asking their permission. But then the teaching is really want them to know what to say and what to do when this happen in a real scenario. Sometimes I think advocacy also include telling the adults that you cannot do something or you cannot hear something. You somebody blocking you purposely, then just like walk away. I need to go. I think all these statements or all these verbal comments also help our kid to be more, like you say, like more assertive or more vocal in telling people I don't
Correct.
like it. I don't like this, doing that. Yeah. Or you are in my way. Yeah. So just let me. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. So you give a very good example of if let's say of how do we do prevention. Yeah. But the examples I gave just now is on let's say when they go into rape situation, then how they respond, what are the kind of role play. But actually, if you want to do daily, just we call it serve and return practice, it will help your child feel that, oh, I deserve a voice. Yeah, help your child to feel that, oh, I deserve to tell someone, I deserve to express like this. Then the no and stop will naturally comes better during the situation of rape itself when they are really being bullied. But otherwise, we want to also strengthen the role play with the no and stop so that it comes naturally imprint in their brain.
So some of the thing I do with Kobe, my son, is to make him always like try to teach him to say go away. By purposely blocking him, he will ask me, Daddy, go away. So I'm trying to teach him this. And then also sometimes when I carry him, I will purposely stand there and don't want to move so that he can tell me he want me to continue, or purposely just catch him by his hand, don't let him move, to make him say, let me go, I don't want. So these are the things that is I can imagine as how I can prepare him if the similar situation exists. Yeah.
Yeah. You're being very helpful as a daddy to help him to
He may
do
dislike
bullying.
me because I always do this on him.
Yeah, bullying proof exercise. This come from daily life lah. Yeah, and thanks Kevin for sharing.
I'm also curious on this, right? If let's say I'm suspect or a parent suspect bullying is happening, what should be their first step?
So I think somehow we addressed this earlier through how parents can respond already by calming down your own reaction, finding out from your child first and differentiate whether it's normal conflict, unkind behavior, or really shoot up to bullying so that you know what to do. But if you really suspect it's really bullying already, something that I will emphasize is talk to the teachers, don't confront the bully. Because you confront it's not ethical for parents to talk to the student directly, and we know other people wanna potentially bully your child. Maybe they're also having some of their personal issue or inner power depletion. Yeah, so we never know. So we don't deplete another child, right, just because you suspect your child being bullied. But also we wanna give both sides of a party a fair chance to work things out. So talk to the teachers and get teachers to investigate without over pressuring the teachers. Yeah, so use open language to check in with teachers. Can you look into this? Yeah, rather than I suspect my child bully, can you see what's happened, and then and if needed, get the child to apologize. Yeah, not telling the teacher what to do, but check in with teachers to let teachers handle the situation.
I think it has stages or phases. So the first phase is like you want to be curious and you want to investigate only. Like teacher is a good party to help, to add information or intelligence like intel do the whole investigation, but we are not. So with the investigation, only we can come to a conclusion. So with that conclusion, only you talk about the action. So I think that could be the stages if it's like a process like that. And thank you so much for sharing that, Raynette. So lastly, I think I just want to, before I let you go, right, I just want to ask if there's any message you would like to share with parents who might be concerned or worried about bullying.
Yeah. So a key message from me maybe is I always encourage parents to look for rewarding and assuring signs for their child having inner power, have good skills or not, whether rather than warning signs whether my child is bully or not, because it will sounds very passive. Yeah, and it will deplete us, making parents themselves more anxious, like what to do if my child is bully. But if you see it by collecting rewarding and assuring signs, you can see that my child actually can do this. My child actually will come back and tell me things. My child actually could say no when he or she doesn't want something. My child is quite flexible in attending to things. My child sometimes tell me about, the other person not being nice. Yeah, my child can tell me all this is just expression. So these are all signs of inner power. Your child can express, problem solve, look for you as a trusted adult. Yeah, instead, and even if, let's say, with all these rewarding signs, one day you found out your child is still being bullied, then your child most worry is also like navigating his or her independency, want to hide it from you to handle it but on him or herself. And even if things didn't handle well, the child with all these skills or all these rewarding and assuring signs, they can bounce back quickly, even if anything that it didn't go on well, if you left it, unchecked. Yeah. So look for rewarding and assuring signs for yourself in supporting your child and focus on cultivating their inner power. Yeah. And of course, not overreact and not underreact. Yeah. We want to pick up warning signs, but we also want to differentiate it from normal conflicts to give all children, whether what position they are in, power over, under power, no power, or have good inner power, a good space to navigating how to handle their friendship on their own.
Okay, yeah. Well, I think the whole episode is very enlightening for me personally, and I certainly hope that our listener and audience will also find a lot of insights and lessons from here. Uh, if I were to recap, I think the definition is very important because it helps us define whether this action is really considered bullying or not. So just a refresh is the intention, and then it must be targeted to someone, and it has been repeated, and also there must exist in a certain power imbalances, and that if all these exist, then yes, it's bullying. But also do not jump into taking action. Also try to understand, because I think from the beginning we also mentioned that the person who is doing this could also have their own internal struggle. So both could be a victim. There's no win at all in this situation. And really appreciate Rennie for sharing. I certainly hope that you find this helpful. And if you find it helpful, do share with people who might, parents or caregivers may be worried about their children. Share with them, help them to find ways to cope with this as well, and also to teach their children how to prevent and protect themselves. And with that, this is the episode number 27 for Adapting Together, starting off with a second. It's like almost like a 1 year plus the new episode for the second round already. So do come back if you haven't follow the show and subscribe and share with us any feedback or any comment if you have. Right? Thank you so much again, and I do hope to see Raynette come back to share more different topic with us in the future as well. Okay, with that, thank you.
Thank you,
Bye
Counsellor.
bye.
Very honored.
Thank you, Raynette.
Thank
Bye.
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.